The spark that ignited war the morning sun cast golden rays across the crystal-clear lakes of Eden Prime Colony. 7-year-old Emma Chen skipped along the metal walkway, her small hand clutching the chrome surface of her robotic companion, Buddy. The little android dog wagged its mechanical tail as Emma threw a glowing energy ball across the courtyard. "Fetch, Buddy." Emma's laughter echoed through the peaceful settlement. Her black hair bounced as she ran, chasing after the robot that had become her best friend since arriving on Eden Prime 6 months ago. Dr. Michael Chen watched his daughter from the medical facility's window. As the colony's chief medical officer, he had moved his family here to help establish the first human hospital on this distant world. Eden Prime was supposed to be safe, protected by the Galactic Peace Treaty signed just 5 years earlier. "She's so happy here," said Dr. Sarah Chen, Emma's mother and the colony's head of pediatric medicine. She joined her husband at the window, watching their daughter play in the morning light. "I'm glad we made the decision to come." Michael nodded, but something nagged at his mind. The long-range sensors had detected unusual ship movements near the system's edge. Admiral Sarah Martinez, the colony's defense coordinator, had been tight-lipped about the readings during their morning briefing. 300 miles above the planet's surface, Admiral Martinez stood on the bridge of the UHS Defender, humanity's most advanced patrol vessel. Her weathered face showed years of military service, but her eyes held the sharpness of someone who had never lost a battle. "Admiral, we're detecting massive energy signatures approaching from the outer system," reported Lieutenant Commander David Park, her tactical officer. "Configuration matches Draconian Empire warships." Martinez felt her stomach tighten. The Draconians were a reptilian species known for their aggressive expansion across the galaxy. They had signed the peace treaty reluctantly, under pressure, from the Galactic Council. But treaties meant little to a species that viewed other races as inferior. "How many ships?" Martinez asked. 12 heavy cruisers, sir. Battle configuration." Martinez activated the colony-wide communication system. "This is Admiral Martinez to all Eden Prime residents. We have detected potentially hostile ships approaching. Our system. This is not a drill. Please proceed to designated emergency shelters immediately. Down on the planet's surface." The warning sirens began to wail. Dr. Michael Chen grabbed his wife's hand as they watched their daughter's face change. From joy to confusion. "Daddy, what's that sound?" Emma asked, running to her parents with Buddy close behind. "It's just a practice drill, sweetheart," Michael lied, not wanting to frighten her. "We need to go to the safe room in the hospital." The family hurried through the medical facility's corridors as staff members moved with practiced efficiency. The hospital had been built with reinforced walls and underground bunkers designed to withstand natural disasters. No one had imagined they would need protection from alien weapons high above the planet. War Master Vextar stood in the command center of his flagship, the Crimson Talon. The massive Draconian's scaled hide was deep red, and his yellow eyes burned with the fury of his species. Behind him, his bridge crew prepared weapon systems with cold efficiency. "These human insects dare to mine our ancestral crystals," Vextar hissed, his forked tongue flicking between razor-sharp teeth. "They will learn what happens when inferior species challenge the Empire." His second-in-command, Sub-Commander Deck, approached with caution. "War Master, the Galactic Council will not approve of attacking a civilian colony." The peace treaty. Vextar's clawed hand struck Thekma across the face, sending the smaller Draconian sprawling. "The treaty is worthless paper. These humans have taken crystals that belong to the Empire. They will surrender them or die. The truth was more complex. The crystals found in Eden Prime's mountains were rare and valuable, used in advanced technology. Across the galaxy, the humans had discovered them legitimately and filed proper claims with the Galactic Council. But the Draconian Empire wanted those crystals for their own war machine. Send a message to the human colony, Vexstar ordered. Tell them they have 1 hour to evacuate and surrender all mining rights. If they refuse, we will demonstrate the price of defying the Empire. Admiral Martinez received the message and felt her blood run cold. The Draconians weren't just making demands. They were threatening genocide. She immediately contacted Earth Command through the quantum communication array. This is Admiral Martinez, Eden Prime Colony. We have 12 Draconian warships demanding surrender, request immediate military support. The response came quickly from General Patricia Wells. Earth Defense Command, Admiral, our nearest fleet is 6 days away. You need to hold position and protect the civilians. Do not engage unless fired upon. Martinez closed her eyes. 6 days might as well be 6 years against a Draconian battle fleet. She opened a channel to the alien ships. This is Admiral Martinez. Eden Prime Defense Force. We are a peaceful colony under the protection of the Galactic Peace Treaty. We will not surrender our legal claims to these crystals. Please withdraw from our system. Vexstar's laughter echoed across the communication channel. Pathetic human, you speak of treaties while mining our crystals. You have refused our generous offer. Now witness the power of the Draconian Empire. The first energy beam struck the planet's surface like a falling star. The target was supposed to be a mining facility in the mountains, but Draconian weapons were imprecise, and the beam struck the outskirts of the colony instead. The ground shook violently as the weapon hit. In the medical facility, Emma Chen was helping her mother organize medical supplies when the blast wave reached them. The reinforced walls cracked, and ceiling panels began to fall. Emma, get down. Dr. Sarah Chen threw herself over her daughter as debris rained around them. Buddy, the robot dog, positioned himself protectively over both humans, his metal body absorbing the impact of falling concrete. Dr. Michael Chen was in the hospital's main surgery when the blast hit. He was treating a colonist who had been injured during the evacuation when the lights went out. Emergency power kicked in, but the building's structure was compromised. We need to evacuate the hospital, he called out to his staff. The building isn't safe. Admiral Martinez watched the destruction from orbit, her hands clenched into fists. The Draconians had fired on a civilian area, directly violating every rule of warfare. She opened a channel to her weapons officer. Captain Lisa Jong, prepare. All weapons. If they fire again, we engage. Captain Jong, a young but skilled officer, nodded grimly. Admiral, the Defender is no match for 12 Draconian cruisers. Will be destroyed in minutes. Then we make those minutes count, Martinez replied. We protect the civilians below, no matter the cost. On the planet's surface, the evacuation continued desperately. The Chen family made their way through the damaged hospital, searching for a way out. Emergency lighting cast eerie shadows on the walls as they navigated collapsed corridors. The main exit is blocked, Dr. Michael Chen reported. We need to find another way. Emma held tightly to Buddy's metal paw, her small voice barely audible above the chaos. Daddy, I'm scared. I know, sweetheart, but we're going to be okay. Buddy will protect us, won't you, Buddy? The robot dog's optical sensors glowed reassuringly. Protection protocol activated. I will keep Emma safe. They found an emergency exit that led to the hospital's landing pad. A evacuation shuttle waited there, its engines already warming up. Dr. Sarah Chen helped load injured patients while her husband coordinated with other medical staff. "We can fit 20 more people," called the shuttle pilot, "but we need to leave now. The Draconians are charging their weapons for another shot." As families climbed aboard the shuttle, Emma noticed that many children were crying. She approached a boy about her age who was separated from his parents. "It's okay," she said softly, taking his hand. "My daddy says we're going to be safe." The shuttle's engines roared to life as it lifted off from the landing pad. Through the small windows, Emma could see the colony below, smoke rising from the damaged buildings. In the distance, more energy beams were striking the mining facilities. "Look, Emma," her mother pointed to the sky. "Admiral Martinez's ship is protecting us." High above, the UHS Defender was indeed engaging the Draconian fleet. The single human warship moved with desperate courage, firing its weapons at the massive alien vessels. Captain Zhong's skilled piloting kept them alive longer than seemed possible. "Direct hit on their lead cruiser," reported Lieutenant Commander Park, "but their shields absorbed most of the damage." Admiral Martinez watched as returned fire lit up the space around them. The Defender's shields flared as energy beams struck the hull. Damage report: shields down to 40%. Hull breaches on decks 5 and 7. The shuttle carrying the Chen family and other evacuees climbed toward the upper atmosphere, seeking the safety of the evacuation ships waiting in orbit. But the Draconians had other plans. Sub-Commander Vexstar commanded, "Destroy that shuttle. These humans need to learn that defying the Empire has consequences. Sir, it's carrying civilians, children." Vexstar eyes burned with rage. "Exactly. When word spreads that we killed their young, other human colonies will surrender without resistance. Fire." The energy beam lanced through space, striking the evacuation shuttle just as it reached the edge of the atmosphere. The small vessel was vaporized instantly. Along with everyone aboard, Dr. Michael Chen, watching from another shuttle, screamed as he saw his wife and daughter disappear in a flash of light. Emma, Sarah. Admiral Martinez witnessed the atrocity from the bridge of the Defender. The aliens had deliberately targeted civilians, including children. Her voice was barely controlled as she opened a channel to Earth Command. "This is Admiral Martinez. The Draconians have destroyed an evacuation shuttle carrying civilians. Multiple children confirmed dead, including 7-year-old Emma Chen. I repeat, they have murdered human children." The message reached Earth within minutes through the quantum communication network. In the halls of Earth Defense Command, General Patricia Wells stared at the report in horror. The Draconians had not just broken the peace treaty, they had committed an act of genocide. "Get me the President," she ordered, "and activate the Prometheus Protocol." All of it. The Prometheus Protocol was humanity's most closely guarded secret. For years, human scientists and engineers had been developing advanced weapons and starships, hidden in secret facilities throughout human space. The technology was designed for one purpose: to fight enemies far stronger than humanity. Within hours, the news of Emma Chen's death had spread to every human world. The little girl's photograph appeared on screens across the galaxy, her innocent smile contrasting sharply with the burning wreckage of her shuttle. On Mars, engineer Dr. Marcus Webb received emergency orders to activate the shipyards hidden beneath the planet's surface. "Begin construction of the Prometheus fleet," he told his team. "We're going to war." On Lunar Base, Weapons Specialist Commander Rachel Torres unlocked sealed vaults containing prototype energy weapons. These devices use technology reverse-engineered from advanced alien species, weapons that could penetrate draconian shields. The response from human space was unanimous. Emma Chen had become a symbol of innocent life destroyed by alien aggression. Her death had awakened something primal in the human species, something that the galaxy had never seen before. President James Morrison addressed the human worlds from Earth. My fellow humans, today we witnessed an act of unforgivable cruelty. The Draconian Empire has murdered our children, believing that fear will make us surrender. They are wrong. We will not bow to tyranny. We will not forget Emma Chen and the others who died today, and we will have justice. The declaration of war was broadcast across the galaxy. For the first time in human history, every human world, colony, and outpost was united in a single purpose. The Draconians had expected to intimidate a weak species. Instead, they had awakened. A sleeping giant. War-Master Vexstar received reports of human military mobilization with dismissive contempt. Let them come, he hissed. We have crushed stronger species than these insects. Their fleets will burn like their colonies. But something about the human response troubled Subcommander Vekma. The humans were not retreating or seeking negotiations. They were preparing for total war with a speed and efficiency that seemed impossible for such a young species. On Eden Prime, the survivors were evacuated to emergency shelters. Dr. Michael Chen sat in stunned silence, holding a small toy that had belonged to Emma. Around him, other parents mourned their lost children. They will pay, whispered Dr. Chen, his voice filled with quiet rage. I don't care how long it takes. They will pay for what they did to Emma. The evacuation continued under the protection of Admiral Martinez's damaged ship. The Defender had taken heavy damage, but its crew continued fighting with desperate courage. They knew they were buying time for the civilians below. As the last shuttles lifted off from Eden Prime, Admiral Martinez made a decision that would be remembered throughout human history. She set the Defender on a collision course with the Draconian flagship. All hands, abandon ship, she ordered. This is Admiral Martinez. I'm staying behind to ensure the evacuation is complete. Captain Zhong refused to leave. Admiral, I won't abandon you. That's an order, Captain. Someone needs to tell Earth Command what happened here. Tell them about Emma Chen. Tell them about all the children who died today. The Defender's engines roared as the ship accelerated. Toward the Crimson Talon, War-Master Vexstar watched in disbelief as the human vessel approached on a suicide run. They're insane, he muttered. No rational species would sacrifice themselves like this. The explosion when the Defender struck. The Draconian flagship was visible from the planet's surface. Admiral Martinez's sacrifice had damaged the alien command ship and given the last evacuees time to escape, but the cost had been terrible. Emma Chen and dozens of other children were dead. The peaceful colony of Eden Prime was in ruins, and humanity had learned a harsh lesson about the true nature of the galaxy. As the surviving evacuees fled toward human space, they carried with them the news of what had happened. The Draconian Empire had made a fatal mistake. They had killed human children, believing it would make humanity surrender. Instead, they had started a war that would consume the galaxy. Emma Chun's innocent face would become the symbol of humanity's righteous fury. Her death would be the spark that ignited the greatest military mobilization in human history. The little girl who had played with her robot dog that morning would be remembered as the child whose murder awakened humanity's true potential. The Draconians would learn too late that there was no fury like that of humans protecting their young. The war for Emma Chen had begun. The hunt begins 3 months after the Eden Prime massacre. The secret shipyards of humanity came alive with purpose. Deep beneath the surface of Mars, Dr. Marcus Webb stood before the largest construction project in human history. The Prometheus fleet was taking shape, and with it, humanity's answer to the Draconian Empire. Status report, Webb called out to his engineering team. Around him, massive starships were being assembled by both human workers and advanced robotic systems. These vessels were unlike anything humanity had ever built before. The first squadron is ready for trials, reported Chief Engineer Ana Torres. The Phoenix-class destroyers are equipped with quantum shields and adaptive armor. The Draconians have never seen anything like them. Webb nodded, his eyes reflecting the determination that had gripped all of humanity since Emma Chen's death. The little girl's photograph hung in every workspace, a constant reminder of why they were building these instruments of war. The Phoenix-class ships were sleek and deadly, their black holes designed to absorb enemy sensor sweeps. They carried weapons that could punch through draconian shields, and armor that could adapt to different types of energy attacks. But most importantly, they were fast enough to strike and disappear before the enemy could respond. On Lunar Base, Commander Rachel Torres was putting the finishing touches on humanity's most advanced weapons. The Hellfire cannons used technology that had been theoretical just months ago. Emma's death had accelerated human innovation at an unprecedented rate. The targeting systems are fully calibrated, she reported to General Patricia Wells via secure communication. These weapons can lock onto draconian weak points that their own engineers don't know exist. General Wells reviewed the technical specifications with grim satisfaction. How many can we produce? 50 units per week, increasing to 100 once the automated factories come online. We'll have enough to outfit the entire Prometheus fleet. Within 6 months, the pace of human military development had stunned even their own scientists. Technologies that should have taken years to develop were being completed in weeks. The human species had united behind a single purpose, making the Draconians pay for Emma Chen's murder. Meanwhile, in the outer rim of human space, Captain Elena Vasquez commanded the UHS Reaper, one of the first ships to receive the new weapons. Her crew was conducting field tests against captured Draconian vessels, preparing for the war to come. Target locked, reported Weapons Officer Lieutenant James Park. Hellfire cannon is charged and ready. Fire, Vasquez ordered. The energy beam that lanced out was unlike anything in the human arsenal. It struck the Draconian test ship and bored through its shields as if they didn't exist. The alien vessel's hull cracked and split, venting atmosphere into space. Asterisk. Incredible, whispered Park. Their shields offered no resistance at all. Captain Vasquez smiled grimly. The Draconians had built their entire military doctrine around shield technology. These new weapons would render their defenses useless. Prep another target. We need to test the rapid-fire mode. Across human space, similar tests were being conducted. The Prometheus fleet was not just larger than anything humanity had fielded before. It was technologically superior to anything the galaxy had seen. Human engineers had studied every known alien technology and improved upon it on Earth. President James Morrison met with his top military advisors in the Situation Room. The walls were covered with star charts showing Draconian territory and human fleet positions. At the center of the main table sat a small memorial to Emma Chen and the other children killed at Eden Prime. The fleet is ready, reported Admiral Catherine Stone, the new commander of Earth Defense Forces. 12 carrier groups, each more powerful than the entire pre-war human navy. The Draconians won't know what hit them. What about intelligence? Morrison asked. Do we know their fleet? Positions? Our deep space reconnaissance drones have been mapping their territory for months, replied Intelligence Director Robert Hayes. We've identified their main shipyards, supply depots, and command centers. When we strike, we'll hit them everywhere. At once, the president looked at Emma's photograph on the table. The little girl's innocent smile had become the face of human determination. What would be the estimated casualties? Unknown, sir. We're not just fighting a war. We're changing the nature of warfare itself. The Draconians have never faced an enemy like us. In the Draconian Empire, War Master Vextar was beginning to understand that he had made a terrible mistake. Reports of human military buildup had been flooding in for months, but the scale was beyond anything he had imagined possible. How can these insects build so many ships so quickly? He demanded from his intelligence officer. 3 months ago, they had fewer than 50 warships. Now they claim to have over 1,000. Sub-Commander Dekma studied the reports with growing unease. War Master, their construction methods are unlike anything we've seen. They're using automated systems that can build ships without rest. And their designs, they're specifically created to counter our weapons and defenses. Vextar's yellow eyes burned with rage. Impossible. No species develops that quickly. Sir, I recommend we request reinforcements from the core worlds. The humans appear to be preparing for total war. But Vextar's pride would not allow him to admit that the inferior humans might pose a real threat. Send word to our outer colonies. Increase production of our own ships. These humans will learn that the Empire cannot be challenged. The first human strike came without warning. Captain Elena Vasquez led a squadron of Phoenix-class destroyers in a raid against a Draconian supply depot near the edge of their territory. The attack was swift and devastating. All ships, attack formation, Vasquez ordered. Remember, we're not just fighting for victory, we're fighting for Emma, Chen, and all the children they murdered. The human ships appeared on Draconian sensors for mere seconds before unleashing their weapons. The Hellfire cannons tore through the depot's defenses, destroying ships and supplies worth months of production. Before the Draconians could respond, the human fleet had vanished into hyperspace. Similar attacks occurred simultaneously across the Empire's border. Human ships struck at mining facilities, shipyards, and military installations. The Draconians found themselves fighting ghosts that appeared from nowhere, struck with impossible precision, and disappeared before retaliation was possible. Status report, demanded Vextar from his bridge. The reports flooding in painted a picture of systematic destruction. 23 facilities destroyed, sir. 15 more damaged. We've lost the equivalent of 2 months' production in a single day, and casualties. Minimal, sir. The humans seem to be targeting infrastructure rather than personnel. They're crippling our ability to wage war. Vextar's scaled fist struck the armrest of his command chair. The humans were fighting like no species the Empire had ever faced. They weren't trying to conquer territory or capture resources. They were systematically destroying the Draconian military's ability to function. On Mars, Dr. Marcus Webb received the battle reports with satisfaction. The Prometheus fleet was performing even better than expected. Phase 2 is ready for implementation, he told General Wells. The Nemesis-class cruisers are complete. The Nemesis-class ships were larger than the Phoenix destroyers and carried even more advanced weapons. They were designed for one purpose: hunting down and destroying Draconian capital ships. Their most impressive feature was the ability to track enemy vessels through hyperspace. Admiral Catherine Stone took personal command of the 1st Nemesis Squadron. Her flagship, the UHS Vengeance, was a monument to human engineering. Its hull was inscribed with the names of every human killed at Eden Prime, with Emma Chen's name prominently displayed on the bow. All ships, prepare for hyperspace jump. Stone ordered, "We're going hunting." The human fleet emerged from hyperspace in the heart of Draconian territory, something that should have been impossible. Their new jump drives allowed them to bypass the Empire's early warning systems and strike at targets deep within alien space. "Draconian battle group detected," reported the sensor officer. 12 heavy cruisers, standard formation. "Perfect." Stone replied, "Let's show them what happens when you murder human children." The battle that followed was unlike anything in galactic history. The Draconian ships fired their weapons with desperate fury, but the human shields adapted to each attack, becoming stronger with every hit. The human weapons, meanwhile, tore through alien defenses as if they were made of paper. Within an hour, the entire Draconian battle group was destroyed. The human fleet had suffered only minor damage. Admiral Stone opened a communication channel to broadcast across the Empire. "This is Admiral Catherine Stone of the Human Defense Forces. You killed our children. You thought we would surrender in fear. Instead, you have awakened something that will hunt you across the galaxy. This is only the beginning." The message sent shockwaves through the Draconian Empire. For the first time in their history, they faced an enemy that seemed technologically superior. Reports of human victories flooded in from across their territory. On the imperial capital world of Draco Prime, the High Council convened an emergency session. Emperor Skartek, ancient ruler of the Empire, listened to the reports with growing alarm. How did these humans advance so quickly? He asked his advisors. 6 months ago, they were barely capable of interstellar travel. Our scientists believe they've been hiding their true capabilities, replied the science minister. Or perhaps the destruction of their colony triggered some kind of rapid technological development. Emperor Skartek had ruled for over 3 centuries. He had seen the rise and fall of dozens of species, but he had never encountered anything like humanity's response to the Eden Prime massacre. "What do they want?" he asked. "Unknown, Your Majesty. They've made no demands. They simply attack our facilities and disappear. It's as if they're trying to destroy our ability to wage war." The Emperor's ancient eyes narrowed. "Summon War Master Vextar. I want to hear his explanation for this disaster." When Vextar arrived at the Imperial Palace, he found a ruler whose patience had run out. The War Master had expected to be congratulated for his victory at Eden Prime. Instead, he faced an empire under siege. "You assured me that destroying their colony would make the humans surrender," Emperor Skartek said coldly. "Instead, you have started a war that threatens our entire civilization. Asterisk. Equals Your Majesty. These humans are fighting like animals. They care nothing for honor or proper warfare. They strike from the shadows and flee like cowards." "Cowards who are destroying our fleets," the Emperor replied. "I'm relieving you of command. Fleet Admiral Drachma will take over the war effort." Fleet Admiral Drachma was the Empire's most experienced military commander. He had conquered dozens of worlds and defeated every enemy the Empire had faced, but even he was troubled by the human tactics. "Your Majesty, I recommend we attempt to negotiate with the humans. Their military capabilities are beyond anything we've encountered." "Negotiate? The emperor's voice was filled with contempt. The empire does not negotiate with inferior species. With respect, your majesty, these humans may not be inferior. Their technology is clearly superior to ours. Their tactics are innovative and effective. And most importantly, they seem to be fighting for something more than territory or resources. The emperor considered this. In his long life, he had seen many species fight for survival, but the humans seemed to be fighting for something deeper, something that made them more dangerous than any enemy the empire had faced. What do you recommend? We need to understand what drives them. Our intelligence suggests they are seeking revenge for the children killed at Eden Prime. Perhaps if we offered reparations, ... The Empire does not apologize. Skartek's voice echoed through the chamber. We are the superior species. We will crush these humans as we have crushed all others. But even as the Emperor spoke, reports of new human victories were arriving. The Prometheus fleet had struck at 3 more draconian worlds, destroying military installations and capturing advanced technology. The humans were not just winning, they were learning, adapting, and growing stronger with each battle on Earth. President Morrison received the latest intelligence reports with grim satisfaction. The human war machine was performing beyond all expectations, but he knew the real test was yet to come. The Draconians are massing their entire fleet, reported Admiral Stone. They're preparing for one massive counterattack. Everything they have left. Are we ready? Morrison asked. More than ready, sir. The Prometheus fleet is at full strength. We have weapons and ships they've never seen, and we have something they don't understand. What's that? Admiral Stone pointed to Emma Chen's photograph on the wall. We're fighting for her, sir. For all the children they murdered. That's a power no technology can match. The final battle was approaching. The Draconian Empire would throw everything they had at humanity, hoping to end the war with one decisive blow. But they would face an enemy unlike any they had encountered before. Humanity had been awakened to its true potential by the murder of a 7-year-old girl. Emma Chen's death had unleashed something that would change the galaxy forever. The hunt for justice had begun, and it would not end until every Draconian who had participated in the massacre faced the consequences of their actions. The little girl who had played with her robot dog on a peaceful morning would be remembered as the catalyst that transformed humanity from a peaceful species into the galaxy's most feared predators. Her innocent smile would inspire a generation of warriors who would never stop hunting those who had taken her life. The Draconians had thought they were attacking a weak colony. Instead, they had declared war on humanity itself, and humanity was ready to show them the true meaning of fear. Asterisk.